Hello everybody, my name is Anthony from SteamFirst.com and thank you for watching this video. This is Mechanical Keyboards 1. I said that weird, this intro. Anyway, this is like a little intro bit to kind of show you guys the key parts of the video since it is like a guide of sorts. So I want to make it as organized and easy to watch as possible. So if you guys want, you can click the annotations and see certain parts of the video. I will do my best to keep annotations in other parts of the videos, like when I'm explaining key switches, in case you guys just want to skip that and go on to the next one, or just not watch it entirely. But yeah, so this video is geared mostly towards like the first time buyer of like a mechanical keyboard, just as a way to give a general idea as to what certain things are without having to take in a bunch of like words off a screen or like a long 20-minute video that somebody else made. But yeah, this is a bit late. This was meant to come out to a company at like a holiday tech thing that's supposed to do for like Black Friday, but it's like a month overdue. So I do apologize. I was having some issues rendering this video, but anyway, this intro is already longer than it should be. It's like a minute, so I'm gonna end it. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the video. Yeah, thanks for watching. And yeah. So, you want to embark on the quest that just about every PC gamer goes through at some point in their lives. Choosing your first mechanical keyboard. I hyped that up way too much considering what this video actually is. Well, luckily, there are tons of information available on the web to make the decision a little less daunting. Even more luckily, I've decided to make this guide on choosing your first mechanical keyboard even easier by going over some of this information, but also skipping over most of the unimportant information in as little time and as much detail as I possibly can. Let's do it. First off, let me just say this video is mostly geared towards first-time buyers and less experienced users, and will focus mostly on most common keyboards that your local Best Buy, Fry's, or other big or small or medium-sized electronics outlet may or may not sell. Or may sell, I think is the term. I wrote that wrong. Ugh, typos. Though I will try to cover everything I possibly can. Okay, so let's start off with a little background on mechanical switch types and what a switch actually is. First off, mechanical key switches are available from a variety of different manufacturers in a variety of different styles, though the most common are the ones, the Cherry MX ones found in a majority of keyboards you'll encounter at most electronics store outlets. There are also different ones like Alps, Topper, buckling springs like the ones in early IBM keyboards. These switches, especially Cherry MX ones, come in a variety of different options that use different plungers and springs and mechanisms to create a different feel that appeals to different type of users depending on what you're going to be using a keyboard for mostly. The switch is comprised of a few parts including a housing, spring, and plunger, at least in the Cherry MX ones. The spring and plunger are primarily what gives each type of switch a different feel. Each key gets its own switch and keycap, which we'll go over later on, and then on to the benefits of owning a mechanical keyboard. I was going to keep this bit short because this video is kind of long, and I just want to compress it all as much as I can. Mostly just they're easier to type on, easier to use, more comfortable. That's it. They're like a normal like membrane keyboard, rubber dome membrane type keyboard would be. That's pretty much it. That's all I've seen in them. And anyway, moving on. I want to keep this short. Now let's go over each type of key switch, though unfortunately I wasn't able to get each type of switch. I wasn't able to gain possession of each type of switch to record it myself. I do know people who have them, so I'll do my best to include some audio and photos of each one that I've either found from Google or managed to convince my friends to send me. First off, we'll go over Alps. Though not as common as Cherry switches, through my research I found they're most common in a lot of keyboards from Asia and in a lot of Dell keyboards. They come in both white and black variants, both with a tactile bump, kind of similar to Cherry MX Blues, or vice versa, depending on how you look at it. The mechanism in these is fairly more complicated. Pressing a key on an Alps keyboard bends a leaf against a little bit of plastic that then bends a flexible piece of foil against a real contact that eventually leads to the actuation of a key. They have a travel length of 3.5 millimeters and require 60 to 70 centinewtons to actuate. Alps have a reputation for being loud and are hard to bottom out, and black Alps tend to develop friction as they wear. Both have clear advantages and disadvantages. I'll leave links to some Alps keyboards in the description below, though I cannot personally vouch for how trustworthy the sites may be. So just do your own research there. Next are Topper switches. Topper, Topre, however you pronounce it, are a little different as well. They're described by Topper Corp, the only one made in Japan, electrostatic non-contact type keyboard. Here's a little snippet I took from some website. That's the snippet right there. I'll put the link in the description either way. The mechanism is pretty cool. When you press a key on a Topper switch, it depresses a rubber insert which flattens a conical spring, which touches its relevant contact and presses and creates some change in some complicated sciencey thing that ends up in a final actuation. They can require anywhere from 30 to 50 centinewtons to actuate. Have a travel distance of around 4 millimeters, though some people find them way too similar to rubber domes. They have an insanely smooth travel, but are also really pricey. EliteKeyboard.com has some, and you can check them out on the link below. Next, I'll be going over the different types of Cherry MX switches, but because there are so many of them, I'll include a little annotation at the start of each segment to keep it more organized. Cherry MX switches can range from heavier, more stiff linear switches like blacks to tactile clicky ones like blues. We'll start out with blacks and like the linear type ones. MX blacks are by far the heaviest switches I've personally used, requiring a massive 60 grams of actuation force and 4 millimeters travel to bottom out, 2 millimeters to actuate, just like every other Cherry MX switch. The biggest advantage to these are accidental key presses are a lot less likely since they require so much force to actuate, and they're linear, meaning actuation and release points are at the same point in travel, making them good for games and typing especially. Though their heavy actuation force could also be a disadvantage since they could get uncomfortable for long typing periods. Some of the linear variants of MX key switches are browns, reds, and some heavier ones like grays and super blacks. Next to my personal favorite and the second of 3 most common switch types found in stores, Cherry MX browns. Like blacks, the actuation and reset points are at the same point in travel, so it makes double tapping faster, and they even have a little like tacticalness to them, combining the best of both blacks and blues. They require 45 grams of actuation force, 55 grams peak force, 2 millimeters to actuation, 4 millimeters to bottom out. Razer's new orange switches are slightly similar to these in that they require less of an actuation force and have a slightly shorter actuation reset point. Like blues, my second favorite switches, browns have a small tactile bump to let you know when a key has been actuated and are great for typing due to that, and a fairly light actuation force, though they have a slightly shorter lifespan of around 20 million keystrokes compared to some other variants. Okay, next we'll go into like the heavier tactile type switches like MX Clears. You'll most likely not encounter these in stores. They have a fairly larger tactile bump letting you know when a key is actuated, require an actuation force of 55 centinewtons, and have a travel of 2 millimeters, 4 millimeters to bottom out. Like blacks, they can be fairly uncomfortable for long periods of typing, though the tactile bump is nice paired with a fairly heavy actuation force. Next are MX Blues, the most common at most Best Buys I tend to see. They have a pretty loud tactile click. In fact, you might have heard mine in some videos or in the live stream back when I used to do that. They require around 50 centinewtons to actuate and have the same travel distance, 2 millimeters to actuate, 4 to bottom out, though they have a fairly large clicky bump to let you know when a key is actuated, making them beneficial for typing. In fact, I dust off my old MX Blue keyboard for long coding or script writing sessions sometimes. The release point is above the actuation point, which can be detrimental to double tapping. Razer's new green key switch is slightly similar to these, but with a slightly shorter actuation reset distance and a reduced actuation force. Now into the next and third most common switch found at stores. 4 out of 5 Best Buys and my local Fry's had 2 keyboards with MX Reds, 5 out of 5 had blues, and browns, and Fry's had 1 with blacks. And I think the guy I asked said they had 1 with Topers, but that was a while ago, and he could have been lying because, you know, Fry's is quite notorious for being just as bad as Best Buy. These are not tactile and require 35 centinewtons to actuate. These are my favorite for gaming and long coding sessions. They have the same linear travel as blacks and browns and have a higher lifespan than most of its variants of around 50 million keystrokes. That was a lot of info to digest. It was even harder for me to record in one take, but now that you have some slight knowledge of different under the hood options open to you, you can make a choice on a shiny new keyboard. Okay, wait a minute. I'm not going to end this video without kind of helping you choose a keyboard. I'm not actually going to try to choose a keyboard for you because that's not really my place to do that. It's up to you guys what you want. You kind of have an idea of what each switch is like. If you want more information on it, there will be links in the description to my sources, some keyboards with it, and some reviews and stuff as well. It'll be a pretty long description. Actually, just check the post on SteamFirst, not the YouTube description. Anyway, so when you're looking for a keyboard, you want to choose one that you feel be more comfortable. So say you have like really strong fingers from all that Mountain Dew and pizza eating and fedora tipping, and you can handle that, the heaviness of the blacks, and you want that because they're heavy and they're linear. You're less likely to make errors. You type a lot. You have strong fingers. Good, go with that. Or if you play lots of games and you do a lot of double tapping, like lots of like MMOs or whatever, you could go with reds because they're not only are they good to type on, they're comfortable, but they're also linear. Or if you like typing a lot, go with blues because they're nice. Blues are really nice for typing. Just so on and so forth. I mean, I highly recommend browns for first-time mechanical keyboard users. My first keyboard were blues, and the second one was browns. They're nice. They're just kind of the best of both worlds, I guess. They're both linear and tactile, so it's cool. But anyway, yeah, just go with what you guys think is nice. Read some of the stuff I'm gonna link in the post on SteamFirst and choose based off of that. I didn't actually write a bit in the script for this. I just wanted to, go on my own anyway. Before I get off track more, this is it for this video. I know I said I was gonna not go over every single thing. There were also cherry MX greens and I think whites. I didn't go over grays or super blacks or anything like that. I keep hitting the microphone. So sorry. I just wanted to go over what you guys are most likely to encounter if you go to an awful store like Best Buy or Fry's to try to get a keyboard. So, yeah, I mean, you guys, I'll obviously link stuff in the description, like I said, to other things. I just wanted to kind of give people an idea of what's what. This isn't the best guide ever. I'll come out with a new video in a week's time from uploading this one about cleaning keyboards and keycaps and stuff like that. But for now, this is it. Check the post for more info. Anyway, my name is Anthony from SteamFirst.com. Thanks for watching this video. Be sure to check out SteamFirst.com for the best news, reviews, videos, and content revolving around all things Valve and Steam. This video is going to take forever to edit, so I'm just going to end it there. You can find me on Twitch /AnthonyTofu, whatever it is. Link in the description. Goodbye.